This video, I guarantee, will say the title will be David Harbour spoils all of season 3. I'm sorry, Netflix. I'm so proud of the show, and I do feel a little humbled in the sense that like my performance is so dependent on all the other departments in the show, and I'm so proud of the show as a whole that my one piece of it, while I'm proud of it, I feel like it is, it needs to be shared among like the whole cast and crew. So to be nominated for an award and to be among this group of artists is a really special thing. You know, the first image of Hopper is him hung over on his couch, and we see that drawing, his child's drawing on the fridge. So we know that he's a mess as a result of this lost daughter, and we get to see a lot more of that as the thing goes on. So I think one of the great things was we kind of approach it obliquely in the first season by him saving Will, and this being something that enlivens him and awakens him. And so in the second season, I think we wanted to approach it more directly with like, you know, she has father issues clearly with a papa that manipulated her, and he has, you know, tremendous issues with raising a daughter. So I think to put those two together was such dynamic and electric. Yeah, I mean, you know, as much as you can with a 14-year-old person. Like, it's, you know, it's, yeah, I adore her in all her complexity. And the fact is, like, we are kind of like father and daughter in that way, where we annoy each other and we love each other and we care about each other a great deal. But, you know, again, a lot of the relationships on Stranger Things, one of the special things about this cast is that everyone there is just such a good person and willing to really get personal with each other. She's my adopted child now. The interesting thing about Hopper is that he's really great solving crimes and being a man of justice. And like, what's he like when there is no crimes and when he's just raising a teenage daughter who's becoming a woman? I think it is probably the greatest challenge for him. It's probably much more terrifying than any Demogorgon could possibly be. Hopper and Eleven are going to mature as a family, and we're gonna see where all that teenage angst, how that works on Hopper, which, as you can probably assume from what you know of him, that it's not gonna be a great situation. He's not gonna deal with it very well. I mean, I would love to see that. That would be a nice thing, wouldn't it? We've seen him sort of struggle with his purpose for living. And then we've, you know, in season 1, we've seen him struggle with fatherhood and his limitations with control in season 2. And so it, you know, it might be a very interesting place to take him to see who he is as a man in romantic situations and in terms of this vulnerability that I think he has that he hates about himself. And I think that you'll be happy in season 3 to see that we take him to some of those places. That's all I could say, otherwise Netflix is gonna come to my house and kill me. I always, every interview, this video, I guarantee, will say the title will be David Harbour spoils all of season 3. And I'm sorry, Netflix. Don't fire me, please. I just get so excited about the show. I mean, when you have a 14-year-old, she's gonna wanna go to the mall, right? When I was 14, I wanted to go to the mall. I remember that was so embarrassing that like my dad like had to pick up my little girl I was going on a date with when I was 15 and drive us to the movies at the mall and then pick us up afterwards, and you just like, you know he's gonna embarrass you and think it's like cute what you're doing. Oh, is this horrible? The mall is great. I mean, if you saw just from that shot, just from the little things you see of it, the production design did an incredible job. So you are just transported there. And to do a mall with all those stores and everything, it's incredible. It's gonna be really fun. Season 3 has a lot of really fun elements to it. I don't actually really separate them in my mind. I would try to focus on the less obvious thing in each of them. So maybe in the actiony, more seemingly actiony scene, I might focus on what the story might be emotionally in terms of why. I mean, I'm always fascinated emotionally in the moment that someone pulls a gun, even a cop. Like, that action, I don't know that I personally as a human being could do it. And I'm always curious about what psychologically happens in a person when they do that. In terms of the emotion, I'm more interested in the action-oriented. What emotion causes you to do to actually not have that not have yourself cry. And especially as a man of the 80s, like, you know, I feel like the last thing in the world he wants to do is to appear, in the 80s in the Midwest, the last thing he wants to do is to appear vulnerable in that way. So he's focused a lot more on behavior, which is like, how can I shut this down inside me?